Do you have thousands of Facebook group members, but you have trouble turning those members into clients? Well, give me the next 10 minutes and I'm going to show you the 5 most common bottlenecks that are holding most Facebook group members back from actually monetizing their groups and turning their members into paying clients. And if you want to get your hands on my free Facebook group growth and monetization courses, that's going to give you the same exact steps that I've actually taken to not only grow my group by 3,200 members, but also book 413 sales calls and generate $357,000 in revenue last year, then drop the word course below and myself or my team will reach out and we'll actually send you the link for those courses. My name is Ron Medlin and I actually help online experts generate or build 6-figure businesses using Facebook groups, our super simple 3-post content system, and our proven DM outreach scripts that help our clients actually turn their members into easy to close sales calls and ultimately clients for their business. And it's my goal with these videos to give you at least one actionable step that you can take away right now and implement into your business to help you to reach your revenue goals this year. Let's actually jump over to the computer and I'm going to walk you through my 5-point checklist that you can audit your group against, that you can start to see the bottlenecks that are kind of holding you back and keeping you from monetizing your group members and turning them into clients. So I'm going to share my screen now and let's actually walk through this step by step. So checkpoint number 1 is, do you have an irresistible offer? Now, if you're not extremely confident in the product or service that you're selling right now and you question whether it's even worth the price that you're trying to charge for it, well then chances are you haven't built enough value into that offer to actually sell it. Okay, so that's going to be your first bottleneck. That's going to be your first thing that you need to focus on. You need to increase the value of your offer to the point where it is so much more valuable than the price that it's a no-brainer for your prospect to actually purchase, okay? So if you don't have that in place, you're not super confident in your offer, that's the bottleneck you need to work on right now, okay? The next thing that we're going to work on once you have your offer dialed in is going to be checkpoint number 2, and that's going to be, do you have a automated sales system and software set up that's going to help you to automatically capture and nurture leads to where they book a call on your calendar and then turn into actually paid clients? Do you have that system in place? Now, I'm going to show you a typical high ticket funnel here. This is basically the first funnel you want to implement in your business if you are selling a high ticket product. So the typical setup here is you have a landing page that promotes a lead magnet or maybe a free training where people can actually opt in to get access to that training or lead magnet. Once they opt in, they're taken to a page, a thank you page, where we have a video training or a VSL, a video sales letter, that's going to try to get them to book a call. Now, if they don't book right away, we're going to have email follow-up to bring them back to the calendar page so that they can book. And then once they actually book, they're going to get text and email reminders to make sure that they show up for the call. Once we have the call, if you've got your checkpoint number 1 dialed in and in place, then we should be able to close a high percentage of the people that we get on that call. Then we close the call, we take payment, and then fulfillment takes over. And that's the way a typical high ticket funnel works. Checkpoint number 2 is, do you have that automated system in place? Now, once you have that set up and ready to capture and convert leads, the next point of our checklist is, do you have your Facebook group optimized to actually book you more sales calls? To do this, I've developed a system that I call the Group Profit Flywheel, and it's basically the sole purpose of this system is actually to book more sales calls for myself and my clients. So let's jump in and let's actually show you how this works. So the first thing that I do is I use my Facebook profile. This is not my business page, my Facebook profile to funnel leads into my group. Now, once they join my group, I have several opportunities to book sales calls from it. The first method that we're going to use is my membership questions. Now, I have a question in these membership questions that asks them directly. It basically tells them exactly what I do and asks them if they want to book a call to see how this would work for their business. Now, based on the way that they answer that question, I'm either going to book the call right away in the DMs, or I'm going to move them to the next opportunity to book a call, and that's going to be my welcome post. Inside of my welcome post, I embed what's called a 2-step post. If you're not familiar with that, I talk a lot about it, so find some other videos. But basically, there's a 2-step post embedded in these welcome posts that where the actual people that we tag on that post can comment below to actually get access to the lead magnet or training that we're offering in that post. And a certain amount of the people that we tag on that post are going to respond. That's going to open up a conversation. That's not only going to get them into our automated system that we talked about previously, but it's also going to open up those warm DM conversations where we can also book calls. So there's two opportunities there to actually book sales calls. Now, the third opportunity for booking a sales call is our live stream events that we do inside of the group every other week. Okay, so with these live stream events, we promote them to our social media following. We also promote them to my email list to drive as many people as possible to get on these events, watch the events, and engage with all the content that promotes the event and the event itself. That leads to more warm DM conversations, and then book sales calls and ultimately clients for our business. So for checkpoint number 3 is, do you have something like this set up for your Facebook group? Okay. Now, we've been talking a lot about booking sales calls in the DMs. So your next checkpoint is going to be, do you have a system in place to quickly follow up with the warm leads that are raising their hand on your content and engage with those people in the DMs while they're warm? Okay, so do you have a system to actually follow with those people very quickly? And this, in the DMs, they're more likely to open than an email, and they're more likely to actually read your message. So and then once they actually read your message, do you have a proven script to actually convert those people into booked calls? Now, because really the DMs is where we book about 90% of our sales calls. So this is a very important step. If you don't have this in place, then obviously this is the one you're going to work on. Now, to help me solve this problem for myself and for my clients, I actually developed a system that combines both of our DM strategy and the scripts plus our software to help myself and my clients streamline the outreach process, helps us stay organized so we know who we're talking to and where they are in our conversation, and it helps us to book more sales calls. And then we actually train VAs to kind of run the system for ourselves and our clients so that we're able to still book a bunch of easy to close sales calls, but we're not stuck in the DMs all day. So that's very important when you're running a business. All right, so if we have everything we've gone over in place, you now have a predictable system and a way to generate those leads and easily nurture those leads to filling your calendar each week with easy to close sales calls. And then once we get them on the call, you've got an irresistible offer in place so that you can close a high percentage of the people that you actually get on those calls. Then we've got one final step, and that is, do you have a traffic source to feed this machine that you've built and drive as much volume into the machine as possible? We've been talking about Facebook group and monetizing a Facebook group, so it stands to reason that we're going to focus first on Facebook group or Facebook as our main traffic source. And if we agree on that, the next thing that we got to ask ourselves is, do we want to start with organic or do we want to start with paid? And the truth is, you should really be using both of these eventually, but you got to ask yourself, do I have money to start with ads? Because you're going to need a testing budget. You're going to spend probably a few $1,000s before you get a client. So you need to be aware of that before you choose ads. And if that makes you scared or nervous, then you need to start with organic, okay? And we've actually created a very simple system that works to drive not only organic or not only group growth by adding new members, but also it creates tons of engagement, and that leads to DM conversations, which also leads to easy to close sales calls. And we call this our 3-post content system. The first post is a Facebook event. This is our event that we post inside the group. We can invite up to 500 people at a time to this event in our group. Then we use a 2-step post on our profile. You could also do one inside of your group. This generates a bunch of engagement if it's got a good hook. And then the next post in our 3-post content system is our live stream itself. So we're generating all this engagement on all these different posts, and then we're using our DM scripts to follow up with these people to book calls. And that's really what leads to generating new clients and growing our business. So there you have it. There's our 5-point checklist that you can audit your group against and start to monetize your group members and consistently start generating 20K plus a month. Now, again, if you want to get your hands on our free Facebook growth and monetization courses, the same exact steps that I go through or I've gone through to build my group to 3,200 members, book 413 sales calls, and generate $357,000, then comment course below and myself or my team will reach out to you and give you the link. So thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.